All right, let's get Danny Kanell in here. DK has kind of a different take on that as we get into your top 12 teams, and A&M is there at 11. You don't think he was taking a shot at anyone in particular there?
No, I think he was talking to recruits, right? I mean, that's every coach. They have that opportunity in front of a microphone coming off a big win like that, because I think a lot of parents and recruits, you can feel like you're talking to a politician. They're selling you something, or they're talking super fast like a used car salesman. So I think that's what he was doing. A lot of people want to make it out like it was at Jimbo or if it was at Brian Kelly. I don't think Mike Elko's that kind of guy that wants to take shots directly at another coach.
Well, A&M is rolling right now, only perfect team in SEC play. As we look at your top 12, Georgia, number 2 in the AP poll, down there at 6. There's no LSU.
Right.
There's no Alabama.
No, they don't deserve to be on there.
You tweeted that LSU is eliminated.
They're done.
Who else have you?
Alabama's done.
Alabama already done.
Yes, everyone wants to talk about this game this weekend, Alabama, LSU, or it's actually they have a bye week, and the next game they play, that's the playoff elimination team. They're already done. They already have 2 losses, especially LSU has 2 bad losses. They got completely worked against Texas A&M.
If Alabama wins out, though, with a win over Georgia,
they're not going to win out.
LSU, but if they're
not going to win out,
they would be in.
Not if they need help. Both of these teams need help, a lot of help, because of the teams that are up here, we still have teams that are undefeated that have not lost yet. They need teams like Pitt to lose at SMU. They need, Indiana to get knocked off multiple times, I think, because Indiana could be a one-loss team that is sitting there at the end of the season with their only loss potentially being to Ohio State. I think they would be more deserving of an Alabama or LSU with 2 losses on there. Alabama has the Georgia win, which they are, championing. They're saying, hey, look at our biggest win. But in the meantime, they want you to forget that they lost to the entire state of Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Like, that to me is one of those losses that has to keep you out of consideration unless it's their only loss, similar to what Notre Dame has. That loss against
Northern
Illinois.
Well, that's where I wanted to go next, because there's a lot of people, I think, in Bloomington, Indiana, the folks that root for BYU, Iowa State,
not getting any respect
teams.
From
Notre Dame is ranked ahead of those teams.
That drives me nuts, because there's always a moving target, especially. That's why I do like to talk about the big brands get the benefit of the doubt so many times. If you're a team that's kind of not a traditional blue blood, or is having success when the expectation was, oh, this is going to be a rebuild year for Indiana or Iowa State, like, good story, but they're not going to sustain it, or BYU, whose win total was 4.5 to start the season, they have to do twice as much to earn the respect of the AP voters. We don't know about the College Football Selection Committee yet. That drives me nuts, because the other teams, like in Notre Dame, well, that was a bad game. We'll excuse that. That was just one game. And yet we should hold those teams to a higher standard, because they have more resources, better players, better recruiting budgets, better NIL budgets, and yet we give them free passes the majority of the time and make these other schools that don't have as much prove it almost doubly.
So, Danny, it's a week from tomorrow the first CFP rankings come out. Look, the AP rankings don't matter.
Right.
I mean, for as much as we bag on them, and maybe they do.
Subliminally.
Yes.
Because the selection committee does pay attention to the rankings.
True. So they're going to know where teams are ranked, and hopefully they won't take that into consideration. But 12 teams make the college football playoff. Let's walk over here.
Okay.
And let's get your bracket as of right now, Danny. And this is again, you are not saying that this is how it's going to end up.
This is not my prediction for the college football playoff.
This is if it ended right now.
If it ended today, which I think would blow a lot of people's minds, and if you just put this picture out without context, the SEC fan base and even Big Ten fan bases might lose their mind. But you have some really fun matchups. And you see a team like Indiana, who I do think deserves to get a shot. They would get in being 11-1, playing a team like Texas A&M, and getting some of these teams that aren't getting the recognition, that opportunity.
Okay, so you have Texas A&M getting past Indiana. So you have BYU going unbeaten in the Big 12 then?
I do. Yeah, well, right now, they're unbeaten, and they're at the top of the standings in the Big 12.
Okay, they're the highest-ranked Big 12 team for you, so you have them going to the college football playoff and getting a bye. Ohio State, Clemson, this is like an old
this would be
four-team
phenomenal rivalry. And I do think right now, the way things are floated, Clemson is the better football team. I know they had that loss to Georgia. That's a long time ago. Ohio State has some injury issues they got to deal with, losing 2 left tackles. They're still kind of limping in there to the finish line.
You are hogging the entire spotlight.
I know.
I've got nothing.
You're in the shadows over there.
In the dark over here. You got Georgia.
Boise State playing Penn State there in a matchup.
Okay, so the Boise State, that's the G5 team. Do you think there's any chance that Boise State could finish ranked higher than, say, the Big 12 champion, and Boise gets a bye?
There is a chance, especially because of that win they just had UNLV. If they beat them again And their loss against Oregon was pretty tough. They only lost by a field goal. So, yes, I think that could be there. Ultimately, though, I still think Penn State is the better football team and would go on to face Georgia, who had that first-round bye.
Okay, so you have multiple Big 12 teams in, because I see Iowa State, Pittsburgh. Now, I don't know that any TV executive would sign up for that,
right,
but
exactly.
I would.
Yeah, right? I think it'd be a fun matchup. It really would. I don't know how well it rate, but what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to put the teams in that earn it or the teams that get the ratings? Ultimately, I do have a little bit more confidence in Pittsburgh. I think it'd be a really good game. But their defense, what they showed against Syracuse last week, was phenomenal. And their offense, I think, has the power to put up points on anybody.
Okay, so Pittsburgh advancing to face Oregon as Danny walks through his college football playoff bracket.
Other side, here we go.
If things were to end right now, take us through the matchups here in the quarterfinals. These would be at bowl games, so no longer on campus.
Correct.
I've got to get into the light
Yeah,
somehow.
you do.
I mean,
yeah.
Jesus.
This is like a Seinfeld episode. I mean,
okay.
But you don't look as bad as she did when the lights got bad. There you go. Look at that. So I've got Texas A&M advancing. I've got them going forward. And I think I have Clemson over Miami. These are some of these matchups that would set up the semifinal games. So, yeah, I think A&M is a juggernaut. And this is what the caveat that they play Marcel Reed at quarterback. If they go back to Connor Wegman, I'm taking that bet off the table. And then I do think Clemson right now, I have more confidence in their defense than I do about Miami's. Other side, Penn State, Georgia, what a matchup this would be. And I'm going to slightly lean towards Georgia and give them the edge in that matchup, moving them forward to a semifinal. Based a lot on their defense, what they did against Texas, and question mark about what Penn State does without Drew Aller. Oregon, hands down, that team is one of the best in the country. Final Four matchup. Now the TV execs would get back to being excited.
Love this. Yeah.
Kind of a newcomer, Texas A&M against Clemson, Georgia, Oregon, couple blue bloods there that have been at the top of the charts all season long. And then I got the Clemson Tigers. Now, I did take a bet on them a while ago at 40-1, so maybe it's me trying to back them.
40-1?
But yeah, right after they lost to Georgia, everybody wrote them off. And then I've got the Oregon Ducks getting past Georgia, the most complete team in the country with Dylan Gabriel as well.
Oregon and Clemson in the national championship game, and you got Oregon winning it. Why do you think Oregon's the best team in the country?
Well, for one, I never had a question mark about Dylan Gabriel, the offense, and what they showed, the ability against Ohio State to go toe-to-toe points-wise. But then the defense, what they were able to do against Ohio State, getting on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and that was without Jordan Burch. Remember, their best defensive player was out, and he's still out. If they get him back, then watch out. They are the most complete team in the country. But a lot of that has to do with Dylan Gabriel, the most experienced quarterback in the country, bringing home the title to Eugene.
Oregon at Michigan this week on CBS. That's the game of the week. Michigan, biggest home dog that they've ever been in the Big House. They're a 2-touchdown dog.